to geocachetalkshop.etsy.com and grab 12% off your entire order all through August. Enter code AUGUST at checkout. Share it with your caching crew and friends. But hurry, this hot offer ends when August does. So grab yours before it's gone while supplies last.
Hello, and welcome to Gadget Talk. How are you doing, Chad? I was kind of expecting you to say Gadget Talk at the same time, Chad.
Oh, sorry.
No,
should have probably should have went over that before the show. But
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I thought it was just going to be spontaneous, like welcome to Gadget Talk. Oh, Chad, I thought you were going to do it that time.
Sorry. I try not to talk over people because I'm the worst at talking over people.
Same. I'm pretty bad too. You know, you've probably seen Gary boot me from Geocache Talk on occasion for doing that. You know, we may be talking about pizza too at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah. I just get excited about something and I just want to say it. That's it.
Yeah, I know. And speaking of exciting, Chad, did you hear there's more coins coming from Geocache Talk? Did you hear about this?
I heard.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think they're going to be really cool. I don't know if I've seen the correct ones or not, but all the coins are coming out really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll be a bad coin anyway.
Let me tell you, I've seen some of the coin renderings, and it's in my contract. I can't spill beans. Yeah, and Gary's here. More coins. You know that I can't spill beans. It's actually in my contract. It's written in there. I negotiate that I can talk about pizza, but spilling beans is something I can't do. So yeah, I've seen renderings and they look good. They look really good. You know.
I have an older contract that doesn't have that in there. So
you don't? Oh man, Chad.
That's why they don't show me the renderings.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
no.
Things start to make sense now.
I'm not a bean spiller, anyways, or at least I try not to be. So I wouldn't tell you, but I'm excited to see them come out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah, they're going to be awesome. I'll tell you that. And it seems like we got some good folks in the chat room here tonight. We got Mr. Tom Brotherman, who is going to try to print stairs. I think you can do that, Tom. We got Lori Seaback Tribe joining us from Washington. Thank you, Lori. We got oh man, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Lodo Keefe 521 is going to be my guest from Winnipeg. But I see a black cat as the icon for our audio listeners. And fun fact, I love black cats. I actually have a black cat on that one. We got Buckeye 1725. Thank you for joining us. We got Wollaston from Down Under. So thank you, Wollaston, for coming in. We got our friend Jim from Nebraska. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. We got Jason, Mr. Tyrone Shoelaces, arguably one of the people with the best geocaching names out there in the game, joining us. So that is awesome. Thank you for joining us. We got Hugh McLeod too, joining us from Canada. So thank you, Hugh, for joining us. We got Barbara from Virginia joining us as well too. And we got, in Chad, I'm only going to say this name once because rumor has it, if I say this name 3 times, he appears. Tricassius joining us as well too. And we got Lost and Found 28 too. So thank you for everybody for joining us tonight. We really, really, really appreciate it. But Chad, how have you been in this past month?
Busy, good, but busy. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on in life and building a new cache out front. So I'm busy doing that. We just poured the concrete pad for it. And so I got to start building the building now.
Can we talk about that? Can we tell people what you're doing, or?
We can. It may not turn out exactly like my renderings that I have are, but it's going to be close, I hope.
Man.
But we can. So I'm building pretty much a shed out in front of my house where the old Cache Odyssey was, or where the Cache Odyssey currently is. and it's going to be a big escape room
wow.
out there to find. So, and it's going to be Jurassic Park related cache. So,
Wow.
if you want to, and it's actually not going to be called Jurassic Park. It's going to be called Jurassic Cache.
Oh, okay. That's a good way not to get sued.
Yeah. There's a few things different with the logo and everything. Just a few. We may need to change it a little bit more. But 3D printed shed. Yeah, no. It'd probably take too long. It's easier to stick build it.
Yeah.
And I even have shirts and everything for the cache.
Oh my
and
God.
working on coins for it too. So it'll be fun.
my
I can
God.
show you that logo too at some point if I
Wow.
find it.
That sounds pretty epic. So I mean, like like an escape room style cache with shirts, coins. Yeah, it sounds really cool. Now, either you sent me the pictures or I hacked into your computer. I can't remember which one.
You probably hacked.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But on that one, can I share? Can I share what?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was able to find this. What is this, Chad?
So this is what it's going to look like here. So you have your main entrance for it. The Jurassic Park logo won't be there. It'll be Jurassic Cache. I'll show that logo in a bit. This is obviously just renderings that I came up with and a takeoff for building it. So this is what it will look like from the outside or close to it.
Wow.
And then the inside is going to be a lot of stages. It's going to be, I think right now we're at least 11 stages. It may increase more.
Wow.
For the puzzles. So it's going to take probably at least an hour. So this will be somewhat what the inside will look like. I know the door is on the wrong side in the rendering, but it'll be something like this. Don't take it to be the exact design of it. So, but instead of, it will have a switchboard in it. So it will have all these fun things in there, and then there'll be a switchboard right there that will look something like that, kind of like that. That will be part of the puzzle as well. And so the whole goal of this puzzle is to bring the electric fences back online.
Oh my God, this sounds amazing.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess, I mean, like for our audio listeners, we have so many audio listeners. I mean, just describing this, like going through the pictures again. I mean, from the outside, I mean, it just looks so legitimate, like a building on here. That would be out of Jurassic Park. Definitely has an element where there seems like an element of danger. Going inside or adventure.
Yeah, and I considered doing the whole foam core on the outside with the concrete, just like they do for sets and props and stuff. But I'm just going to use cement board for the outside of it and paint it. So, this looks like concrete because the picture has it that way. So it'll look a little bit different, but this is kind of the concept drawing.
Wow. Yeah, I'm loving these concepts because, on the second one, just going in, I mean, that totally looks like, the proof of concept, like you're going to be in like a movie style set for sure,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is amazing.
So, it's going to be fun. I'll have different props in it, different things that afterwards they can do, a photo booth type thing. There'll be lots of red herrings probably in it. So just different things. And I'm not doing students by myself. So I'm doing it with my wife, Goblin Dust, who is a local one around here. And then Daryl is another gentleman who's doing it. And then we have another gentleman who's doing all the Raspberry Pi programming for it as well.
Wow.
So there's several of us involved with it, and we got a lot of good brains together and good ideas, and so it should come out good. We're hoping to have it live in just over a month.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds good. It's funny, like Melanie, she said, will that be ready for Christmas? And I'll tell you, Melanie, it's going to be like Christmas when it's ready, like especially if Chad's saying like a month or so. Wow.
Yeah.
I know this could be like one of those destination caches, Chad, where people are just like, like booking their trips around it just to go there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it will be. We'll see.
Yeah. Tom Brotherman asked a question. Will there be a person overhead we can ask for hints.
I tried that once before, and HQ has put a kibosh on allowing you to communicate through a geocache.
Okay.
So you can text me, you can text people, and you can call them on your cell phone, but you can't communicate any other way through a speaker system with them. So it's kind of weird. I don't know what the difference is, but there'll be someone you can talk to for hints.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, good comments. Judy Vaughn says, wow, that sounds awesome. Lori says, can't wait to do that with a few others. LOL. And Gary says, harkens to Infernal Device. And for those that don't know, Infernal Device is Gary's all-time favorite cache. All-time favorite cache. So for him to say this harkens to Infernal Device is quite the compliment, saying that. But yeah, on here, Melanie's actually saying, she says, I'm buying my plane ticket right now for that, Chad.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have an event here at my house next month at some point after it goes live. Not for it going live, but after it goes live for people to find as well. So it'll be fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. And so many other people, even Barbara's saying like, yeah, she may have to plan a trip to Washington. And yeah, you're already getting a request, Chad, to say, can we get you to put one in Florida?
If someone pays for it, it's going to be the most expensive cache that I've ever built.
Oh my God. Yeah. I got to say, it's probably up there with one of the most expensive caches anybody's ever built, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really does. But wow, that is cool, man. That is so cool. I'm excited.
So it's going to be fun. I'm excited too. I'm excited to when it's done. I'm not excited to get it done. It's funny. We were just talking to John. Well, we'll go over that later on. And I'll bring it up. So, but it's fun working with people and having all kinds of ideas. And I think we've talked about this before when I've done events at buildings where we've had 30 different rooms full of stuff. We get together with good team members that come up with ideas, and you just keep adding and adding and adding. At some point, you just have to stop and call it good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I got to tell you, to me, that's one of the best parts of the geocaching community is just like how creative people are, how collaborative, just how awesome they are to work together. And sometimes, man, imagine if everybody, tried to solve the world's problems like sometimes geocachers do. The world would probably be a better place for sure. But yeah.
Yep, and it'll be fun because there'll be 2 Jurassic Park Jeeps here that you can do photos in front of. So, all kinds of stuff.
Are people going to have to watch out for raptors or anybody dressed in raptor costumes?
For the opening day, maybe. The rest of the time, I do have a 9-foot T-Rex that will be on the side of it.
Wow.
It's nothing special, but it's just a 9-foot T-Rex.
Okay.
That may be part of the puzzle, may not.
Yeah, we'll see. Chad, to other normal people, like a 9-foot T-Rex is something special, Yeah. Just saying.
He's standing. You can't see him. He's just on the other side of the printers.
Oh, man. Very cool. Very cool. Well, that is cool, man. And anything new on the Cache Fest, the Cache Fest, or that other big event you're doing? I think it's called Geo Woodstock. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Woodstock. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We do have Cache Fest. Should be getting an update with the date and everything here coming up soon. We are working to make sure we have a good venue with everything there in the same place, and one that may not be shutting down for remodel or demolition. So like last time. So we should have something here soon on that for Woodstock. Everything's in there. You got to go to the Woodstock website. And we have the hotel information in there, the dates, everything. I believe the backer shirts are done being sold.
Oh, okay.
I wish my wife was here because she knows all this stuff. I don't. I go to the Woodstock thing. I don't remember if we closed them or not.
Okay. So what you're saying, though, and this is a good thing, right? Because like if people haven't logged their will attend for Geo Woodstock, do that to make sure you get all that latest information.
Yeah, for any event, if you want to just get information on the event, log your will attend because that's the best way to get your information. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Brotherman. I don't know if he's spilling the beans here, but he says the store is almost ready to open for Geo Woodstock. So how cool is that?
What is... Are we? I wonder why my screen went blue.
Yeah,
there we
we're
go.
still on chat.
That's weird. Ours were blue. I was dark. My screens for you and me were blue. That's weird.
Oh man.
Okay, something I must have pushed on my
No
computer.
worries. No worries. Life is good.
Yeah.
And Lost Ken is here too now. So hello all. Thank you, Lost Ken, for joining us tonight.
Oh, now we
Appreciate
can start.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to get into the topic, Chad?
We can get into the topic. I'm excited for this topic because it's funny. Actually, I think after the last podcast, we were actually talking about this. One thing about these podcasts is we stay on afterwards almost just as long as we do during the show, which is too bad for you because you're East Coast and I'm West Coast. So, but
I know you're like, I got to go and eat something for dinner. And I'm like, dude, I got to get some sleep. I have to work tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. But even when we have guests on, we stay on for an hour afterwards. And sometimes those conversations are better than the podcast itself.
Yes, absolutely.
But so let's jump in on it. I'm actually excited about this because you brought this up. And I thought this is a really good idea for placing caches and get people to find them. So I'll let you start with it.
Yeah, I'm going to do a screen share. So if anybody's watched other podcasts, like the Sunday Show or Challenge Talk or Puzzle Talk, any of the ones I've been on, Gadget Talk too, I love attributes, okay? Because to me, I kind of love data, but I love digging into it to see like what unique experiences are out there. But then also, thinking about it from that sense, like what unique experiences can we provide? So, going through, and if people, aren't familiar with this screen, it's just the search screen. You can go in, and I'll try to describe it for our audio listeners as I'm stepping through. I'm just going to leave it like all the cache types, all the difficulty terrains, found status all, owner status all. But when we get to the attributes that really kind of describe like what experience you should expect, what tools you may have to bring, etc. Just kind of thinking, because the field puzzle is usually the one that's used for gadget caches, right? So if you're out there and you're trying to think like, okay, which one's a gadget cache? You usually want to click on the field puzzle, right? So let me go ahead and I'm going to click apply on that one because, right now we know there's like, 3.4 million geocaches in the world. But right now, just with that field attribute, there's only 75,855 caches out in the world. So less than 76,000. So I don't know about you, Chad. Are you surprised by that number?
Actually, that seems like with the puzzle attribute, it seems like not a lot because what is there, 4 million or something like that worldwide?
Yeah, about 3.4 million out there in the world for caches
with 700,000. So to me, it seems like that's just not a lot of. To me, I put a puzzle attribute. Well, of course, I'm a gadget builder, so but that's still a lot to pick from. 75,000.
Yeah, and then looking at it, and I got to remember where it is, but Chad loves teamwork caches. We talked about it last show, right? So if we're thinking just field puzzle and teamwork, let's apply those attributes and let's take a look at them. And, this is saying there's actually only 3,662 out there in the world, that show up for those two attributes. So, to me, that out of 3.4 million, I mean, it's kind of crazy, that there's only less than 4,000, caches out there with the attributes. And of course, doing this live on air for audio listeners, one of the caches I DNF'd shows up on the top two results for me. So, I'm going to have to come back to that Bunster 316 and move that up. But Chad and I were talking after this. We're like, what other ones could you combine? Like taking a look at that, to make like pretty interesting gadgets. And I'm just kind of like scrolling through, and I love, Nicole's saying, I love looking at wacky attribute combos around me, for what I can make. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you can offer something out there, it's pretty cool. And Barbara asked, isn't the field puzzle attribute kind of new? Yeah, it was, and I think it was a good one. It was added, I think, when Challenge Cache was added, and I think Power Trail is part of Power Trail too. So it is new, and I know, at least for me as a cache hider, I try to put on as many attributes as I can. And it's for a variety of reasons. One, to give people a sense of what they can expect, but then also two, if people are doing challenges, to put it out there. And Don asked which two attributes, Don. So when we took a look at it, it's just field puzzle and teamwork that actually, showed that less than 4,000 results on that one too. But I think, if we scroll down and scroll through and you can see all the attributes on here, I encourage people to check these out. But I know even one Chad and I were talking about is wireless receiver attribute on there. So, if we take a look at that, and this is the one that kind of surprised me, Chad, is when we just narrowed it down to teamwork, field puzzle, and then, wireless receiver. There's only 100 caches in the world with that.
Yeah, out of 3.3 million. That's
yeah.
And let's see how many are in the U.S.
Yeah, let's so if we do that, let's filter, and this is a good one. We can go up and we can do United States if I spell right on here. So let me do United States on here and let me click apply. 16. Only 16, and it looks like the closest ones to me are in Pennsylvania by Drunken Monkeys. So big shout out to Drunken Monkeys for providing that rare type of experience to people. But yeah, isn't that crazy? There's only 16 of those.
That's 16, yeah, worldwide. Well, U.S.,
yeah,
100 worldwide.
Yeah,
I just say the U.S. because there's a lot of people that don't travel out, or just Canada and the United States. So, but I'm just thinking the U.S. But worldwide, I like looking at worldwide too, because if you can only get 16 worldwide, or narrow even down further from there, I mean, people are going to try. They're looking for certain attributes, then they have to come and find your cache.
Absolutely. And we'll give a teaser because we came up with some proof of concept caches too that can do this. And we'll kind of dig into some proof of concepts and then set up for future episodes, talking about builds on here. But yeah, Buckeye brings up on here, what attribute do you feel an NFC would best fit in? Wireless receiver required. So if you're putting on that one, this was the former like Garmin chirp attribute. And then after they changed it from the chirp, they changed it, I can't remember, to something else. I think it was like wireless beacon, but wireless receiver required. So if that's the case, I would put that on, and yeah, Tom Brotherman, there are only 21 active caches with the partnership attribute. Absolutely. So just with that attribute alone. So definitely, if you have the opportunity to grab one, make sure you grab one on that. But yeah, this is crazy, Chad, because if you then kind of like look at this, I mean, just imagine based upon those three attributes, if you started to get specific like DT on those or specific sizes. So even if we click like large on here and then clicked apply, we can see there's only 21, large ones with that attribute. And then if we go to the United States here, let's see how many of them in the US there are. Okay, let me type that in. But I think for people, and I don't know about you, Chad, but I think it's cool when we can get something out there that's very unique, for our communities. But yeah, look at this. There's only 3 in the US on that one.
That's great. I mean, only 3.
Yeah, only 3. Yeah. And I think another one that we were talking about on here too, and let me take this out, and yeah, chat room, feel free to, chime in and kind of think, because I love Nicole B. Genius's comment, a funny show idea, put all the attributes in a random combo generator and try to think of caches. Absolutely. Or challenge yourselves out there to put those in, But yeah, the purpose of tonight's show is to make people think creatively, and think of what interesting opportunities there are out there, for people to do these. Yeah, because I don't know, Chad, is there any other attributes you think that would be interesting to take a look at? Because field puzzle, teamwork, I know last week you talked about flashlight required. So if we do those, and this is in the US, there's only 45 of those, overall. So if we go through and we click apply, only 445 in the world.
UV light, you could try one with UV light required.
let's do that. So we'll say teamwork, field puzzle, and where is UV?
Well, it should be over to your far left.
Is it? Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah, 327.
I like the beacon.
Yeah.
Now, we had a question here. Does the NFC qualify as a beacon? I don't think it does.
It does.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, because it kind of falls in where, it was the chirp, attribute, and then it was the, wireless beacon, and now it's the wireless receiver required, So my understanding is it fits in there, and you can do it in different ways. And certainly, I can dig into one of those, if we want to. And I know Tom Brotherman said, will Chad use dangerous animals nearby for his cache that he hides? And I think you should, Chad. What do you think?
I have 2 Velociraptor Great Danes that would be happy to meet people.
Yeah.
Oh, easy talking about for my attribute for my cache.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Anyway, that's a good point. I should.
Yeah. It help people get that dangerous animals. And Lori's just going to say those chickens are so dangerous. LOL.
Lori is supposed to be here tonight, picking up a package off my front porch, but I'm thinking maybe she forgot.
Oh, wow. Well, if we see Lori walk in your shop behind you, we know she's there. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. So Hugh's saying this is really interesting, learning about the different attributes. Never thought about caches like this to look at. Yeah. And think about it from the perspective, both as a finder and a hider, right? Because if you're a finder and you're looking for some incredibly unique experiences, this could give you some really unique experiences to look for. But from a hider, this kind of really shows you like a lot of interesting opportunities, and how to do this too.
Yeah. I like it because when I'm making a cache or thinking of a new one, what do I want to do, right? How do I want to make it? If you can go here and kind of mess around with these attributes, it will kind of give me a direction that I want to go, and it gives me ideas. So the UV light and the teamwork required ones, or even a night cache, if you added that in there, I mean, that really narrows it down and starts my brain thinking, hey, this is something that's going to be cool, and I can do this and do this and do this to it, and I love it. I think this is great. When you brought this up, I was like, why haven't I done this before?
Yeah. Well, Chad, let me share with you, my friend, on this one. You mentioned on this one, like, what if you add the night one, right? So if you go into here and field puzzle, teamwork attribute selected, night cache, and UV light, okay? Let's check this out, my friends. So for the whole world, 71 caches out there with those combinations of attributes.
Man, so what about in the U.S.?
Okay, let's check it. So we're going to
dig in. The world is nice. The world is ultimately what you want. You want to have the least amount in the world.
Well, and just imagine if you told somebody, like, you created one of these where, there's only like less than 100 of them like it in the world. And yeah, this one, in the United States, there's actually only 4. One in New York. Shout out to Albus Birch. Genomac 1 has one in South Carolina, 1 in Florida, and 1 in Utah by Fartknocker 242. So yeah, not too many on there. For That's sure. Cool. Yeah.
I would love to do a fun night cache on my property if they would just change the distance between caches just a tiny bit.
Yeah. I know. That would open up a lot of possibilities for sure. No doubt about that. Yeah.
They were always talking about how to, and I've had this conversation with HQ and Brian several times, is they're always asking me, what would you do to reward people who build great caches and get lots of favorite points? And to me is, give me a cache I could place anywhere within any distance of one of my own caches, no one else's caches. Right? Yeah. I don't want to be able to place it within 528 feet of someone else's cache, one of my own. because then I could put one on each side of the front of my property where I could, I have shopping centers that I could place one on another part of the shopping center, and I'm not interfering with someone else's distance to their cache. And I wish they would do that, because I think that would really change up the game and creative caches that can be built, because there's a lot of people that get permission or have properties that they can put stuff on, but that 528 feet really changes the amount you can put on there and what you can do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, just being upfront and honest here, like back in the day in the early geocaching, okay, coordinates are not as accurate, but nowadays, like, your coords are pretty good, right? Like if you get plus or minus 16, like if there's a cache like 100 feet away from that and you have plus or minus 16, so within your GPS coordinates are within 16 feet of where they should be, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay for sure, Yeah. But what do you think, Chad? Do you think I should share with people one of my proof of concepts to make one of these rare caches?
Absolutely. And I believe this is the one that we talked about months ago with the beacon, right?
Yeah.
But you had this, you showed me this, you sent to me a few weeks ago or a week ago. And I think it's amazing. So I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, thank you. So the three that we're gonna pick is field puzzle, teamwork, and then wireless receiver required, right? So we come here, and again, the U.S. there's only 16 of these, and searching these in the world, there is 100. So on here, you may think to yourself like, wow, how would you create one of these that would actually be put together? So I'll give you a high level overview on this one of how you could do it. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a few pictures and kind of walk through, and I'll talk through it too for all of our audio listeners as well too. But the one piece of equipment, and let me frame up Chad and I, that I used to make a lot of these like proof of concept caches is an ESP32-S3. It's a microcontroller. It has like Wi-Fi built into it, Bluetooth. It has like a web server built into it too. So hearing all of those, you may think like wow, that's crazy. That must like cost a lot, right? But when you take a look at it, this is actually, you can get on Amazon for just like $20, and $20 is with the dev board as well too. And I know not everybody needs the dev board.
You need it.
Yeah, I want to say that for me, because it's just one of those things, like when you're playing with some of this stuff, and what I'll show you, I haven't attached any external speakers, any external devices, but this allows you to really get a lot more in depth and have a lot more expansion, and do it in a pretty easy way because it has screw terminals on it as well too. So for audio listeners, if you go to Amazon and just search Lonely Binary ESP32-S3, and it's the N16R8 dev board and screw terminal base with an FPC port, and it's for $19.99. So, for this price, it kind of blew me away. Everything that this device can do, for gadget caches on here. So, if you're into gadget caches, I'd say get one. And on here, like, I got to admit, I got one. I ordered another one. I ordered another one. And then I think I ordered like my last batch was like 5 of these, because every time I'm using these, like for this price, I'm like, this is actually a pretty cool way to do a lot of things on this one. Yeah. So
one thing I want to say, when they're ordering on Amazon, look at the reviews, make sure it has good reviews, and it has lots of reviews. Because I've ordered stuff, cheap Chinese knockoffs. That's funny. Your water bottle is clear when you do that.
Oh yeah,
it blends it in the back. But anyway, I've gotten some cheap Chinese knockoffs that don't work, or they need you to download some kind of program to make them work. So look at your reviews when you do that. But $19 is great, especially when you have the screw terminals with it. That, unless you're going to solder to your own PCB, you're going to need the screw terminals. Unless you are using jumpers like we showed last time. You can use the female jumpers for on the back of the board, but get the screw terminals. It's going to make life a lot easier.
Absolutely. So kind of getting back, so that's the piece of equipment I used. And let me pull up the pictures, and I'll kind of talk you through a few different ones on here. But, on here, just kind of thinking like, this is what it also looks like outside the box, from here. And, for me testing this out, I just put it in kind of a couple of hyper tough, cases, just proof of concept. And for people that didn't listen to our Christmas show, like these are actually just like cases I get at Walmart. I think they're just like $7 or something. And the thing with these, why sometimes they're good, and let me bring up another view of us, is they actually have like a, I don't know if you can see it. Oh man, probably not, Chad. But they have like, I know. Let me see if I can put it there. Yes, like a little hasp for a lock right there. So if you're testing stuff kind of like proof of concept and you just want to put a lock on it, and like for me, like I've been taking these to events and having multiple people test them, they work out really well for that. And I mean, for a $7 container, I mean, I think that's awesome. But to talk people through those three attributes, like I don't know, do you remember mob caches, Chad, and how those were?
No.
So mob caches, MOB, and mob caches back in the day, it was Chili Head from Rochester basically had a app. Well, not an app, a website you could go to where multiple people, you could define how many multiple people had to go to a set of coordinates, go to a website, enter a code all at once. And once they did that, when there was enough people, it would give them a message, maybe like the coordinates of where to go. So, I kind of thought to myself with those three, I mean, that's definitely a field puzzle, right? That's, could be a wireless receiver required, and on that one, it's teamwork because it requires multiple people, right? So, onto that, I kind of thought, well, that technology was deprecated by Chili Head. It's no longer available. I know I had a cache like that I had to archive, but I thought, how do I do it? So with one of these ESP32S3s, I actually created a mob cache where basically you go to a wireless network, you bring up the Wi-Fi in your phone, you log into that Wi-Fi network, and when the first person logs in on that one, this is what they see on their phone. So they see on this one, Wi-Fi mob geocache, device is currently connected. A second device must connect to reveal the lock combination. And it says, keep this device connected while you wait. So, what happens when the other person connects, and let me bring up that picture, is, the screen says, and I'm just reading this off to the audio listener. So for everybody who's watching live, you can see it. But it says Wi-Fi mob geocache devices currently connected to, and then it provides a lock combination as well too. So the lock combination here is 1999 because why not party like it's 1999, right? So
I love it. So
that's there. But I mean, from configuring that, which I will admit I did use ChatGPT to help me assist with the coding. But overall, I mean, from doing that, and then putting that together, I mean, that checks all those three, right? Because teamwork, you need two people, Wi-Fi, wireless receiver onto that one, and field puzzle. So, how crazy for that for less than $30 that I could actually put together one of those caches that would be like now it would be 101, in the world, but less than 20 in the US from there.
That's great. I love that idea. And I love how you have to have more than one person. As I love teamwork caches.
Yeah.
Something that takes more than one person. And could you make that work for you? Were you required to have 4 or 5 people?
Yeah, you can do it up to 10 people. So I can modify that code to where you need more than 10 people. In fact, I would recommend that you do more than 2 people, because like on that one, to tell you the truth, when I'm testing it, I'm using my iPad and my phone for 2 people. But I mean, technically somebody could probably bring 2 devices easy. So, if you were doing that for installation, I would probably say the minimum you want to go is 3, maybe more on that one. But I mean, yeah, you could go up to 10, because especially if you're doing an event and, a lot of people were there, you could do it, In the field test, I took it to an event, last week. It did pretty well. It's called a captive portal. So once people log into the web server, the Wi-Fi, it then launches a web page automatically, but with some people, and it seemed primarily Android devices, it didn't launch right away. So you could create like a QR code. You could just tell people to go to like a URL on it. So, like on here, you can see like, the URL at the top where it says 192.168.1.1. Somebody could put that, into their web browser once they're connected, to the Wi-Fi, and that would bring it up, so they could access it that way.
So you could call a friend somewhere
No.
and they could log in? No, they have to be within a distance?
Yeah, because these little ESP32s, these have the built-in wireless access point right on them. So they're supplying the wireless network. They're supplying the web page on there. So yeah, people are just connecting to this one. And if I didn't mention before, I don't think so. All I was doing during the event was it has like 2 USB ports, and I was just running it on a power bank, for people to access. So, if you're building out to a permanent cache, you could just put like a cable out there where somebody have to bring a power bank. You could, do it in a different way as well too.
Yeah, and I should have thought about that. I actually almost brought it up that you're using a microcontroller, not a microprocessor. So it's not going to allow you to go to a web page for anything. So, you have to be within range of it.
Yeah. And Tom says that this wife uses ChatGPT for coding crochet. It's not really good for coding SQL and stuff like that. She's had to correct it for crochet. Yeah, to generate the Arduino code, it was actually pretty good. And on that one, Tom, I did have to modify it a little bit, but it worked pretty good. And Gary made a comment: mob caches removed from geocaching. The mob caches that Chilihead did, he deprecated the technology on the website that he had, so they were no longer supported at that time. So it wasn't geocaching removing those. It was just Chilihead who had the website where you could set those up and use those. Deprecated the technology onto that one. So just to clarify on that one. But yeah, Chad, what do you think?
I think that's great. I love it. When you brought this up before and you were showing me this, I think this is brilliant. I want to use this.
Yeah, you should.
For one of the caches. I think I actually have a place that I think would be perfect at. I would love to do one where, so I have, it takes 3, which is 6 buttons you have to push. It takes at least 3 people. Next to a walking trail, and it's always busy with people. It'd be kind of fun, but very awkward to ask people to log on to something with their phone so you can unlock something. But I would try it. But it'd be kind of fun if you put it towards a busy area and you could talk to people, or you have to interact with people if you don't have enough cachers to get the lock. Now,
absolutely.
And so I like that. And it also introduces people to geocaching and makes people come out of their comfort zone and talk to people.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think that's great. And that's one of the best things about It Takes 3 is a lot of people use a walking trail and introduce people to geocaching from that.
That is so cool. I got to tell you, I mean, I love any chance I have for converting a muggle to a geocacher. To me, I just love when you do that and you see somebody's eyes lit up, and it's kind of like reminds you of that magic you first had, like, maybe like in your first 100 finds or something, when everything was just so mind-blowing in the geocaching world, when you realize you'd walk past them so many times and just never knew that they were there,
So could you have the code randomize? I guess you couldn't, because your lock would have to randomize unless you put on a relay that would unlatch.
Yeah, which I mean, you definitely could. I mean, you could like rig up a relay to this. You could rig up like speakers. You could actually rig up like lighting as well too. So there's a lot of opportunities for different things that you could connect to it, to make, the cache a lot more interesting. Because I mean, right now you're logging through on your phone, which is cool in itself. Don't get me wrong. But just even imagine too, if you created some successful sound or like lights playing or lights kind of like turning on and off, like different colors when people got like the number of people. So if you got 10 people to connect and that was the number you went for it, you could have a lot of fun things happen for sure.
Yeah, because that has a built-in MP3, right?
I don't know if it does. I haven't tested that one out. It doesn't have speakers built in.
Right.
But I think you could put audio on and then have it
Yeah.
play. I think.
If
But I have
not,
to
there's little
confirm that.
modules you can buy with SD cards
Yeah.
for it and have it go to relay. I was just thinking, if you give out a code, who's to stop someone from taking a screenshot of that code and just giving it out to people?
Yeah.
So, just a thought, right? If you had it set up to not give a code out and just unlatch something,
Yeah.
then you would have to make sure you have enough people there. There's no,
Yeah.
well, there's always going to be someone who's going to find a way around something and cheat, right? I don't know if it's cheating or just finding a way around stuff. That's what I like to do anyway. So,
Absolutely.
but it would just eliminate how much of that can happen.
Yeah. Oh man, Chad, dangerous animal nearby.
Yeah.
Audio listeners, Chad's dog just appeared on screen, and the head of Chad's dog, I want to say it's like bigger than your head. Just saying.
Oh, this is the little one. The
That's
other one's
the little
way
one.
bigger. So yeah, the other one's probably in my bed sleeping.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
she probably wants outside. She's been in here all day with me.
Oh
laying
man.
down. Let me just let her out this door real quick.
Yeah. Sounds good. Go for it.
I like Tom's comment there.
Yeah. Tom highlights that it's not cheating, it's creative solutions. Yeah, creative engineering. Yeah, Tom. And if anybody does want the code for this, I do have a code or a build guide available. We're not going to like broadly share these out, but if anybody else wants to test the configuration with the Arduino code, so if you do get one of these and you want the Arduino code and want the instructions of how to configure it, let me know. I'm happy to share those, but I know Chad and I are going to dig into a future episode with a lot more of how do you do that coding and then how do you configure it. So, after we go through that and hopefully have some people to help test it, we'll then, certainly share that a lot further, onto that as well too. But and Hugh, great info on this type of geocache. Yeah, definitely. And we encourage, and if people submit something that they see on the show, reach out and let us know, because we'd love to include you on a bookmark list. I know we did that for virtual reality caches, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see the creativity that people do on that one too. And I don't know, Chad, do we have time if I talk about another one that I did this?
We absolutely do. And I did want to bring up, though, you did program that on ChatGPT, right?
Correct.
And you didn't have to correct anything on that C++ coding?
No, so it generated it, and for me, full disclosure, I do IT technology work. So my version of ChatGPT, it has memory, it has a lot of knowledge and experience and context built in. So mine worked out pretty well. Would somebody else's work out pretty well? It probably could. You just got to realize on here, if you're building it out, you need to know what you're asking it, and you kind of need to know what you're asking in sequence, because the first time you're building one, you're basically asking ChatGPT to configure this ESP32-S3 as a wireless access point, meaning that people can connect to it with their Wi-Fi. And then, you kind of want to get iterative. So if you're doing this for the first time, you then want to test adding something to it. So I asked it to generate a web page that would pull up automatically. It's called a captive portal when people do that. And then, I added it. But once I basically had ChatGPT configure one of these for me, the other ones that I configured, and I probably have configured maybe 6 or 7 of these right now. It really kind of the process was a lot more streamlined once ChatGPT knew what I was looking for and knew what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first one that I built, using the ESP32-S3 was that, Wi-Fi mob cache. And again, you can configure it up to 10 people, from there.
And it will give you full diagrams too. If you ask it to give you wiring diagrams, it will do that as well. I actually was messing around the other day because normally I program all my own stuff, which this is so much easier because I'm not a programmer. Let me see if I can find it here. I didn't send it to you. But it will actually bring up a diagram of where your wires need to go I don't know how correct it is. I know where stuff needs to go, so I can look at it and see.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, I did do a couple like that basic designs, and it was correct. So
Cool.
it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was kind of blown away too, because the second variant I did kind of the design, I kind of thought, well, okay, doing a mob cache is one, but I thought, could it do a similar thing? So you take out your phone, you log into the Wi-Fi network that it generates, and then could it actually generate a chat bot that you had to ask questions to? And then after you successfully answered those, then you had to get somebody else to join you in order to then get the code. So on here, Chad, this is how Pizza Ninja AI was born, to tell you the truth. So on here, for our audio listeners, the first screen you see when you log in, it says, at the top, it says Pizza Ninja AI, and, it says greetings, and it says, I basically have the combination to the geocache. Unfortunately, I don't give secrets to strangers, so you must prove you're a geocacher. So it says, your first challenge, what 3-letter device or system guides geocachers to latitude and longitude? And you have to put it in. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see from there, it says you enter in GPS, and it says correct. And it gives a little bit, further information. Then it issues a second challenge. And the second challenge on here, it says a geocacher searches everywhere but cannot find the cache. What 3-letter acronym do they usually log? And once you put in DNF, it basically says correct from there. And then it gives you one other question. And this question is an incredibly hard question, Chad, but I figure this is a good one to do. What is the Pizza Ninja's favorite food? Most people probably know it's pizza. Well, pickle pizza, but I figure keep it simple, pizza, because, obviously if somebody tunes into the podcast, they know it's pickle pizza. But if somebody does not, they probably just, would know it's pizza. But yeah, so after somebody answers those 3 correct, it goes in and says it's correct. And it says once at least 2 devices are connected, so, teamwork, then type status on that one. So, on this one, after the other device connects and you type status, it says access granted. You have proven yourself worthy. The code to the lock is 1999. Bet you wouldn't have guessed that, right? And it says use the code wisely. So, from there, people then can use the code to then, get in the lock and access it that way. So again, that was a slightly different version, of a mob cache. So again, the teamwork required wireless receiver and field attribute. So, that's another creative way to do it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to download any app for this, right? Or anything. You just have to log on to the Wi-Fi that's there.
Correct. So that's all the cacher needs to do is just go there, pick the Wi-Fi just like they normally would. Mm-hmm. And if the captive portal is successfully enabled for the web page to launch, it launches automatically, when you join the Wi-Fi, kind of like hotel Wi-Fi, kind of works for a lot of people. But yeah, if not, you just have to type in, the IP address, and then it configures, from there. And Dawn says pickle pizza. Dawn, that would be amazing. Oh, and Katie joined us from Rochester. Thank you for joining us from Katie.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us from Rochester, Katie. Man, apparently I need pickled pizza on that one. But yeah. What do you think about that, Chad?
Oh, I think that's great. And the thing about what I like about this is I've always thought about using a Bluetooth lock so you can't cheat. And I've had one for years. The only issue is, and this is what it looks like here, and it just doesn't have anything on it. It's just Wi-Fi. The only issue with it would require someone to download the app for this lock, and I just couldn't have people. I was like, I wouldn't ask someone to download an app to be able to unlock something. I think I don't even know if HQ would allow that.
Probably not, because you have to download it, because that's the thing, right? If you build something on a web page and people can access it from a web page and they don't have to download anything, there shouldn't be any issue, with HQ from this one.
Right.
But it's funny you mentioned Bluetooth. I don't know if we got time for me to go into Bluetooth.
Let's
what
do
I
it.
did there
This
too.
is the one that we talked about a while ago, and it was actually something we saw on YouTube. There's a gentleman in Europe, right, that makes escape room games, and he did this. And so I think that this would be super fun, and I may try this here coming up here soon. And I might end up making a night cache, but I'll let you explain it here.
That would be awesome. So I'm just going to bring up on the screen here. You can see, the ESP32, S3, and then to the left of it is a Bluetooth beacon. So Bluetooth beacon, it's just a little tiny device. This one, it's kind of like you screw off the lid, you turn it on, and it just broadcasts a signal. So really onto that, thinking like what do you do with that? Because the ESP32 S3 has Bluetooth built in, so you can interact with it. But I was kind of thinking like, what would be a cool game? And again, on this one, configuring the ESP32 as like a web server with the wireless access point, so keeping that connection pattern the same. But what I thought would be kind of cool, and I tested this out, was to create like a warm, hot, cold game. So you could actually like hide that Bluetooth beacon, and then your phone would tell you, are you cold on this one? Which you can see on this one, it says cold. The beacon is still some distance away, and it gave a signal of minus 84 dBm. And on here, I kind of defined like what range was cold, which range was hot, which one was warm. And you can see when you got a little bit closer on that, it says warm, you're getting closer to the beacon. Signal, minus 73, and it says keep moving toward the stronger signal. And you can see then when you got closer, it says hot, you're very close to the beacon. And it said get the signal to minus 59 or stronger on that one. So, when you get actually close, you see it's unlocked, the beacon's found, you got the required signal strength. And again, it gives you that padlock code you wouldn't guess at this point, Chad. But the padlock code in this one by default was 1999 as well too. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool from there that it just, you were able to then basically, and you just had to put in the like Bluetooth address, in the code. So do that one as well too. But I mean, from a proof of concept, and I can't remember the Bluetooth beacon. I want to say it was maybe $20 or less.
$20, yeah, 1999 or 1980 or something like that.
Yeah, everything's 1999. Yeah.
I mean, think about your lock code. Yeah, but it's like 1999 on Amazon. There's several different ones. I think this is good. I think this would be fun for a night cache.
Yeah,
and I would think it'd be fun out in the woods somewhere because you don't have to have any kind of signal, right? It's just Bluetooth. So you should be able to be out in the middle of the woods somewhere walking down a trail. And once you get to the area, you can log on to this Bluetooth beacon and then do your hot and cold search.
Yeah, absolutely. In all of these, great point, because you actually do not have to be anywhere with a cellular signal, since these are all operating off of Wi-Fi, from the built-in wireless access point that's being generated. So yeah,
which is important because here in my front yard, I have no cell phone signal.
Yeah. So you could do any of these caches, and I'll bring up the Bluetooth beacon I used on here, and there's a ton of them out there, but this is just on Amazon. Blue Charms beacons, long range, water resistant, BLE iBeacon, BC04P multi beacon. It has a movement sensor. I really haven't tested out the movement sensor, but I thought that could be fun for maybe like future use on that one. But yeah. And Katie brings up kind of like a reverse where I go, absolutely, but you can't hack it on here. Yeah.
It'd be super fun. I can think of lots of different ideas on that. And what to do. And you can even do more than one, I believe, because you could get to that one finally and then log on to a different signal. And so you could actually have to go through the woods to find different ones before you actually find the last cache.
Yeah, absolutely. Itself. Absolutely. Yeah. And Race Ray 21 says, can you type in the Arduino model number, please? Yeah, race. So this is actually a lonely binary ESP32-S3 on here. And let me see if I can actually even put.
It's one of the only Arduinos I don't have.
Yeah, let me put it. Yeah, and I'll tell you guys, once you order one of these, you're probably going to want to order like a bunch.
Well, they're so fun to mess with. Arduinos, I use Arduinos on a lot of stuff. And they make, caches a lot more interactive and fun. And now that it's so easy to code them on ChatGPT or any AI program, it makes it even better for just your normal person. It actually makes me feel like, oh man, I've had to learn so much to be able to make my caches with Arduino. Now you can just go on to AI and do it. But you know what? I can do the same thing too. So it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And and with these lonely binary units too, I mean, these have on them Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, built-in web server capability. So they have a ton of stuff where if you look at the Arduino Unos, maybe people just bought one a while ago. Usually those did not have all of that built into it.
Yeah, I just got a Mega in the other day for the escape room out front. It's going to use several of them, but yeah, I mean, I don't have the Bluetooth or anything on mine, but I don't need it for this.
Yeah,
and those are, how much was that Arduino again? What was that? 20?
No, this one, $19.99, Chad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, cart right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it was funny when I bought some like last week when I put an order of 5. It was like there is only one remaining, and I'm like, is that really true? I don't know. It doesn't say it's limited right now. So
the only thing about putting in the woods is power consumption.
Correct.
Right. So you had it on a power bank.
Correct.
But how long would that last? Could you have it go to sleep until it was woken up? But how would it know when to wake up? A few things like that. But if you had it in the city somewhere, or one at your house or front porch or whatever, you could have it plugged in somewhere. I mean, there's lots of places you can put a cache where you
absolutely
can get power from.
Absolutely.
You do solar.
And it's one of those things too. I mean, some people have done gadget caches where it's like you bring a USB power bank and then plug it in, So, if you're hiding one of these and putting it out there where, somebody has to bring their own USB power bank, I mean, just let people know, because that would be a bummer if people did not know and then showed up and, could not do that cache as well too.
Yeah, and being an Arduino, a microcontroller, not a processor, should start up right away. No problem once you're powered up, because it's doesn't have to boot up.
Yeah, absolutely, Chad. So I mean, it's pretty easy, for sure. And I know, and I could talk more. I've done some other proof of concepts of other ones that have been created too, as well too. And what kind of power bank, Gary? Just the kind you would use to power your cell phone. So just standard one. I know I bought some smaller ones as well too, that I've been testing with them. And let me see if I can just like pop those up to, let me see. Because I'll show you even some of the small ones I bought just to kind of field test some of these at events.
Well, and you can get power banks that just take regular AA batteries that have the power bank connection on it, if you want to, or just little stick ones that are like lipstick size, because it doesn't require that much power for when you're using it.
Yeah, in these, I actually found this one. And I mean, it was like $14.98 for 2 of these small ones, for just testing them for events, so you can just see on here, they just have like typical USB, port, and then a USB-C, and the USB-C one is really the one that kind of comes in handy, for charging them. But yeah, just any typical one you can do, and they work great.
So what if you could make one where you're using 2 of these at a distance? I wonder what the distance would have to be to where you got to power both of them up to make them communicate to open up something.
So that's actually on my list to test out, and I've thought about it in a few different variants, right? One could be they need to be powered on at the same time. One of them is maybe they need to come together, to then provide an unlock code. Maybe, they need to be further away. Or, I kind of thought, like, what if you had 4 of these and, you had them hidden and 2 of them need to get in close contact, but you don't know which ones,
Oh, yeah.
So I still have to try seeing if that proof of concept will work, but I think that could be cool, to do. Some other things of kind of proof of concept wise is you can have it generate different web pages for people connecting to the wireless access point. So like the other day I had it generate 2 different web pages. So the first person that logged on got one web page. The second person that logged on got a different web page. So if it was like one of those things where people had to, get one clue on one device, get one clue on another device, you could do that as well too. I'll show one of the other things, I kind of proof of concept from here too, because I created one called Run Away. And I can't remember if I shared Run Away with you, Chad, on here. But I kind of thought it would be funny because on this one, kind of like, with the beacon, it was getting in close proximity to getting the code. But I was like, just imagine a gadget cache if you actually turned it on and it says stand close, but get ready to move away from the cache as quickly as possible. So on this one, and basically it operates on signal strength. Well, that's how it does. So you click ARM challenge on here. And then you can see on here, it says stay close and then calibrating is then on here. And I gave it 15 seconds for people to run away from the cache in order to get the coordinates or in order to get the lock code. So on here, if they ran away to get that weaker signal as you define it in 15 seconds, you would then get, the code on this one. It says, you weaken the signal enough, and it gave a code like 4837. But I thought that would be very funny, right? So if somebody opened like a birdhouse and it was basically like, okay, run away from the cache in 15 seconds. And if you run away quick enough, you get the code to unlock it,
I think that's fun. I mean, any of this stuff is fun, but
Yeah.
I like the idea too, where you have 4 of them. They have to communicate or whatever power on the same time. You have them push a button at the same time. Anything like that. I mean, you can make it teamwork where if you had button where you physically had to push the buttons at the same time, then you couldn't cheat by taping something over it or anything like that. But if you had to have them at a certain distance apart for it to activate, is what you'd want, because you don't want someone to bring them all 4 together and try and push them all.
Absolutely. So if you had 4 and it was only 2 out of the 4 and they didn't know which ones,
Yeah.
that could be kind of cool to figure out on that one. But yeah, you could create a lot of very unique and interesting gameplay that people haven't done. So yeah, I'll continue to kind of test, the proof of concept. Yeah. And thank you, Race Ray 21, loving the runaway model. And, I have the code for these and I have the build. So if people, want to test the code, reach out, let me know. I'd be happy to share it with you. As I mentioned earlier, it's just kind of like getting these. It's like in the proof of concept stage. So I know, I would just appreciate if other people kind of help to field test and come up with ideas. Because I think as a geocaching community, like there's a lot of really cool ideas that we could do with these, for sure, for either event caches or for permanent caches that are put out there.
I think that's great. So I'm definitely going to mess around with some of those. Do you have more space at your rails to trails, trails to rails, rails to trails space?
We still have pretty good ones. We do, but it's interesting for me, Chad, because like when I get to this time of year, with September around the corner, like once we get through like kind of once we get into late November, in certain earlier in some parts, it's like hunting season. So hunting season, I tend not to hide a lot of caches on the trails. I kind of go into more of my like cache building for next year kind of phase, and getting it out there, because I will admit the only times where I think I've had ammo cans going missing, I think it was probably hunters, maybe it was other muggles, who knows, but
probably hunters, probably a pretty good chance. They're like, oh, I need a new ammo can.
That's right. That's right. What's this new ammo can? I just needed one. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, yeah, I'm kind of like in the stage where I'm at is developing those thoughts, field testing them. But yeah, I don't know how many other caches I'm actually going to hide in the woods, this fall. And I always say that, and I always usually put out a couple more, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see for sure.
I think this is great. I'd love to see if a listener ever makes one or anybody makes one. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe have them on and talk a little bit about their experience making it, and if people have found it.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are ideas we're happy to share and happy to have people try and just see what kind of creativity you can bring with these as well too, because these are just some examples I thought of. And really, in saying that, like I did most of this within the past, like, I don't know, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, so pretty cool stuff for sure.
That's great. Well, those are all really good ideas. I love them.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
So one thing I was going to share, I went and grabbed real quick, was the geocache, the Jurassic Cache logo is going to look like this. Oops. This is obviously for a shirt or a sweatshirt.
Ooh, that's cool.
This is the planned look for it. It may change depending on what. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody with it, but that should be far enough away of a design that it shouldn't be an issue.
Awesome.
So, but
yeah, that looks outstanding. Any closing thoughts you have, Chad, for tonight?
No. I mean, if you have any questions, make sure you send us a email to gadget-talk-podcast@gmail.com. And then, I mean, you can follow us on our Instagram page or the Gadget. I think it's Gadget Talk Podcast. I don't do a lot of posting on it. I need to get better at it. But send me any messages if you have anything, and we can go over to John or whoever, or unless you have a different contact information, John, for anything.
Yeah, no, if people want to contact that way, or we're friends on Facebook or geocaching.com, just feel free to reach out either through geocaching.com or we're friends on Facebook. Send me a message that way for sure. Any of those work. And like I said, I'd be happy to share the code that I developed with these, with anybody.
Yeah, I would like to get it from you at some point, but cool. And then our next show, we are looking at.
Yeah, I think September 15th, right?
Yes. It is.
Yeah.
So September 15th, and then we'll see what we have. I have some ideas for some things. Again, if anybody listening, the listener wants to come on and show anything, if they've come up with some ideas on things, we'd love to have you on as well to show off what you did or talk about it. It'll be some pretty good ideas. Stay tuned to the we'll release what it will be here, obviously before the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sounds great. Well, hey, thank you for joining us, everybody, and hope everybody has a good night and happy caching. So take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Oh.